Good morning. Thank you for joining us today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca, and today we're recording the next episode of The Blind View. And so we have some people joining us and other people maybe dropping in. How are you guys today?
Fine. Doing okay.
Okay, there's several topics we can discuss today. I'm just going to throw one out there. Halloween. Does anybody want to talk about past Halloween experiences that they've had?
I mean, I will. I mean, only I can think of was when I had to chase them little punks for egg in our house.
When?
Yeah, these little idiots around here like to do that as a prank. Yeah, that's the first time I got put in handcuffs too.
Would you like to describe that?
These little idiots from my high school. Again, it's like going to the grocery store and buying a bunch of eggs on Halloween and just causing chaos. And I said I wasn't gonna have it no more this year because that stuff is hard to get off your house. It's hard to get off, and your car too, especially after it takes a while to dry off.
It'll strip the paint.
Yeah, it really will. And I was like, no, not again. And I was actually waiting for them, and they came around as soon as they threw the first egg. That's when you got justified cause to go and chase them, and I did, and it started a big, huge fight, and cops got called, and my dad came to my rescue, like, my son was defending his home. They were egging people, and the neighbors, they coincide with my dad's story, so okay, let me go, but they still had to handcuff me though. But all in all, they didn't do it no more after that. So,
wow, that's cool. Does anybody else have any Halloween stories they want to talk about, or do they want to talk about how they feel about Halloween?
I'm kind of curious how many trick-or-treaters we'll have this year and what it'll be like.
Oh, yeah.
We bought some different kinds of snacks that we thought would be a little less handsy, I guess would be the right word, so that people wouldn't have to touch them as much. Something a little easier.
I have bought candy and stuff before for trick-or-treaters, but nobody tends to show up, so I stopped caring a while back.
Well, I'm going to plan for the same number of trick-or-treaters I usually get, just hoping for the best.
Yeah.
And I know I'm honestly wondering how many people we'll get. I kind of suspect people are probably just going to go about living their lives like normal. You know what I mean?
Some people will, and some people will not go out this year, which is sad for the kids. I think it's a fun experience. I remember going out when I was a kid and going out all night. And now it seems like after 30 minutes, they're done.
You guys, I want to talk to our viewers, and I want to talk to you guys about safety this year. As a blind person, at previous Halloweens, I've been very uncomfortable, just having random people ring your doorbell when you're blind. It's kind of a freakish thing when you don't know who it is. And like, I have an anxiety problem. And so I used to get I probably will this year. I usually get really bad anxiety on Halloween because of just the random people coming constantly ringing the doorbell and stuff, It's kind of scary when you don't know who it is and stuff. And this year, with everything that's gone on this year, I'm particularly concerned about our safety. So I just want to mention to our viewers that be careful this year when you're opening your door to trick-or-treaters, that you're not actually going to become the victim of a home invasion robbery.
That's a good point, too, because you don't know who's going to be out there this year.
Yeah, and on Halloween, people are much more willing to just throw their door open, assuming it's trick-or-treaters,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and right now, people are desperate out there.
We don't have our lights on at night, so because in most cases we don't need them. So usually, if you don't have your lights on, people assume you're not home, and so they go past. So we've lived in this. This will be the second Halloween we lived here in this apartment, and we had nobody come by our door. And so we're not expecting any this year. We're having friends over Saturday night, and so we don't expect any people to come by.
You'll be okay, Larry. Or you'll be okay, Larry. Do you ever turn your lights on outside, or is it just on Halloween that you don't turn them on?
No, it's every night because Sue has just barely enough. Sue has just enough light perception to say she has light perception, and I don't have any.
So guys, I want to talk to you guys. When you guys were kids and throughout your lives, how much do you guys feel like you've been able to become involved with Halloween? Like, how much have you been able to continue to dress up and how much have you bothered? I mean, after I went blind, I just know it became a lot more difficult to go out trick-or-treating in the snow and in the conditions and stuff. So after a couple of years, I just refused to go anymore, So did you guys find that blindness hampered your ability to enjoy Halloween?
Well, as I got older, I never, really wasn't much of a holiday for me, except when in like daycare or elementary school where we could dress up. Other than that, I never really, God dang it, sorry about that. I guess I never really done it. Lately I just watch a scary movie or two or watch Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, see if these little idiots ring my doorbell again. But other than that, no big, that's kind of my tradition now. I never went trick-or-treating at all when I was a kid. Never did it.
I have no imagination when it comes to dressing up for Halloween, and probably haven't dressed up in a costume for Halloween since I was 10 years old. So, that's...
Kim, are you doing anything Saturday night?
No, we have candy and we have stuff if anybody rings our doorbell, but no.
So if I decide to throw a party, do you and your boyfriend want to come? There'll be no else.
I have a little get together, but nothing really big.
Okay.
Well, Becca, I take that back. I did dress up one time as an adult 3 years ago doing when we went for School for the Blind. They told us we could dress up that day, and I dressed up as Hugh Hefner.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And the funny thing about it, he had just died that year too. I was the ghost of Hugh Hefner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, does anybody else get anxiety about handing out trick-or-treaters to people, though? Or handing out candy to trick-or-treaters?
Nope.
No, not really.
No.
I mean, speaking for myself, I don't. I assume if we have to face them, but speaking for myself, no.
I always thought it was a good way to get to know your neighbors.
Oh, yeah. So, did anybody watch Judge Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearings last night? Or the vote?
Yes.
I think it was called the hearings. And anyway, they voted. Wasn't that awesome?
It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was really neat to watch her get sworn in as well later on. I think, what did they say? That was 11 o'clock at night there. You remember what that former clerk of hers said about her, that visually impaired clerk, that woman? I am so thrilled that Amy Coney Barrett is on the Supreme Court because I know she's pro-disabled people. Dude, you know that, guys? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read something about that, but I never really confirmed it till now. So Leon, I actually saw the woman's testimony. I saw it on a video on YouTube. It was the most touching thing. I actually cried. I watched it at least 3 times, and I cried every time. It really touched me. That visually impaired clerk describing what Judge Amy Coney Barrett had done for her.
When she sat down and said, your fight is now my fight.
Right, exactly.
On another note, you remember during the 2016 RNC, the lady, she was blind, she sung the national anthem at Trump's RNC convention. I do remember that. So.
Well, hey guys, I got a quick minute. I wanted to share with you the great news that you can now get my first book, Because You're Blind, in hardcover, paperback, and on Audible. See the links below. This is the story of what it was like waking up blind at the age of 12, and then several years later being stripped of my constitutional rights by my parents. And it's the story of how I had to fight to get my constitutional rights back. It's a very powerful story, and I encourage you to listen to it. And the first 50 people who email me will get a free download of the Audible version. And all you have to do is go on and write a review on Amazon for me. Thank you very much. And now back to the blind view.
I liked hearing that she was the fifth woman justice, and also that she's the first woman with school-age children. I felt very empowered in that moment as a woman. And I think that any woman should be empowered as a working mom or just a working woman, to have somebody like that sitting at such a high court. And I liked what she said when she was sworn in as well. She said that we have a separation of the justices from the Constitution, the Senate. The justice's job is to uphold the laws in the Constitution and not be swayed by political beliefs. That it's their job to interpret the law and not be swayed by those that are in office.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that.
So guys, how did you guys feel about President Trump and Joe Biden's debate last Wednesday? You know, we taped the show that morning and we haven't really had a chance to talk about the debate that night.
You want the honest opinion, or you want like who won it or what?
Well, your honest opinion.
Honestly, Trump did a much better job than he did the first debate. He let Biden hang himself, which I wish he would have done the first time, because he knew he was going to screw up somehow. Into the trap.
So you think the second debate was a Trump victory?
Oh yes, of course. That was.
Okay, and Kim, how did you feel about it?
I think that they were both calmer this second time. Mm-hmm. But popular belief is that Biden won. But I would agree with Leon that if you fact check things and you go back and really rewind what was said, and it really was Trump that came across the winner.
Larry, did you watch it? Did you?
I watched some of it, and at least I have to admit Trump was a bit calmer. But honestly, I wasn't favorably impressed by either of them. You know,
there is that too.
Well, I say Trump won because he made Biden hang himself. You know, like you're talking about the kids in cages. Like he said, who built the cages, Joe?
Yeah.
You know, and Biden couldn't answer it. But you know what he also did? He said, I was not president, I was vice president. He threw Obama under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like Trump said, you've been in office for 47 years. You've done nothing. So the first 4 years of your presidency, you're going to do something now. And he couldn't answer it.
You know, the distinct difference on the records of these two men is incredible. When you look at everything Trump has accomplished in 47 months compared to all the destruction that Biden accomplished in his 47 years in Washington, you know, it's just amazing to me. If Vice President Biden had spent 47 years trying to help America the way President Trump has done the last 47 months, imagine where we would be today. But Vice President Biden was never wanting to help America. It was.
He was not. He's been a. I don't want to say that, but he he's just a career politician like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. They're just career politicians, and and then they become corrupt after so many years, or hell, they were already corrupt when they started. But it's just. Well, go ahead, Kim.
Sorry, they believe they're fighting for the right and the justice of everybody living in the country, but in reality, they have misinterpreted and twisted the Constitution and laws so much that they believe the jargon and propaganda that they're spewing. It's just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And look at the damage Biden's 94 crime bill has done. Especially the black community. A little bit of weed or coke, that was damn near a 20-year sentence right there. And I'm glad Trump brought that up too. Like he said, I've done prison reform. I've got over 5,000 people out of prison. For non-violent offenses. And you were vice president for 8 years, and you did nothing. You didn't even bring it up. All of a sudden now you're going to be you're going to be somebody for the people. I'm glad Trump brought that out. I'm glad he finally told somebody said the truth about that.
Mm-hmm.
What's sad is we have a generation of young people that are not seeing a different side. They're not seeing the Democrats for what they really are. And that scares me to death. I remember growing up and learning to look at multiple sides of, a coin has two sides, that kind of thing. Listening to what has factual basis and what is sounding like a fact and isn't really a fact. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Democrats do. They take facts and they twist them so much that they're not factual.
Oh, with them, it's opposite day.
Yes.
Yep.
And our youth, the younger generations don't know that. They think that the Democrats are saying the actual truth because it sounds like the truth, and it's not. We've had so many generations, 2 generations now grow up with video games and movies and entertainment and as their sole babysitter, we'll say. And it's not healthy. It's not wise. And that's what's bringing on this socialistic point of view more than anything, and this support for socialism. And I pray that there aren't enough younger generation able to vote yet, because I feel like they think it's popular to vote for socialism because they don't know what socialism is. They didn't hear the stories that our grandparents told us, or our great grandparents told us about how bad it was, about how every home had to plan for a Nazi attack, or how even during the Cold War, our parents were having, whether or not they needed a bomb shelter in their homes or something along those lines to be prepared for an attack on American soil. And we have generations now that don't have any idea what that would be like. And it's coming.
You know what the really crazy thing is this quarantine that we're just coming out of probably might have given this younger generation some inkling of what it would take to survive if they really had to. You know what I mean?
Right, but they didn't take it serious either.
Yeah, but...
Mm-hmm. Well, my thing is with the socialism, you know, not like you said it. You hit the nail on the head there, Kim, when you said that. My generation, the millennial generation, and the younger ones, they don't know anything. I guess when I graduated from high school in '05, I think that was one of the last school years that they taught about World War II and communism. Now a lot of these kids don't even know who Hitler even is. I'm like,
Oh
they
my
don't
God.
teach us no more in school. I'm like, no. Like, what is World War II? No, I take that back. Basically, they said World War II was America invading Japan and Germany. It's basically what they told me. I'm like, wow, really? It's like, really? I'm like, my God, like I said, this generation is lost. I hope not, but they're like they're lost. If they don't get the way they want to burn, they want to burn everything to the ground. Just like with the last election, you didn't get your way. Now you want to now you want to change the rules. And our forefathers saw this. They saw this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we got the Constitution like we have it now. They saw this coming, but I never thought it'd get this bad. I never did. Excuse me, I can't talk right now. I always knew that we had radical people, but not to this extent like we have now. And it's scary.
It is scary.
The one truth in life is you can't know where you're going unless you remember where you've been. And you can't do that while you're trying to change history all the time.
That's exactly it, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Look at 9/11 and how watered down that has become. I don't know what they teach kids about that in school, but I know it's not enough.
Well, heck, look what Ilhan Omar said. Some people did some things. That's basically what she brought it down to.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought we would have actual terrorists in our government.
Well, guys, this is why it's important that we share our past and our history with our children and tell them about what happened. When I was growing up in Montana, there were Native Americans around us, and I remember hearing different members of their culture saying that they needed to hold on to their traditions and stuff, and I totally agreed with them because I found their traditions very fascinating, and I know that they were in danger of losing them. But
Absolutely.
even as Americans, we have stuff that we need to hold dear and make sure we respect and, hold on to.
Well, go ahead, Kim. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with Becca.
Oh, well, on that, you have people, especially, I hate to bring this up, but, especially younger Black youth, they always want to go back to slavery. Yes, America had slaves. It was legal to have them, but you fast forward to now, no one's a slave. Everyone has civil rights in this country. If you're an American, yes, America was not perfect, but look what, excuse me, I can't, there's something wrong with me today. Look what America has done. They've righted those wrongs in the past. And these youth they don't see that. I just don't understand why they don't see it, or they just don't want to see it. You have rights like anybody else in this country, but I'm tired of fighting this battle. I'm getting tired of it. Somebody say something to me dumb about them, like, what, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm tired of talking to people that don't want to listen.
It's
like
because
talking to a brick wall.
they haven't been presented with both points of view, with both sides. I graduated high school and I thought I had to register as a Democrat because my parents were Democrats. I thought that was what you did. You registered in the same party that your parents were. And it took me a few years, but I figured it out. I figured out by listening and having learned to decipher fact and propaganda, what was real and what wasn't, and who was really helpful to me in the long run, historically, and who wasn't, and who protected people in the long run and who didn't. That's why I switched parties by the time I was in my young 20s, before I could actually vote the first time. I had already switched parties.
You did it a lot younger than I did. I didn't switch to my late 20s, early 30s.
First time I voted with my parents. So after that, though, was when I started thinking for myself and researching it and stuff. So I'm kind of like you, Kim. What were you saying, Leon?
Well, when I was 18, got my first job, I think the world, I'm working out, how come I'm working, doing this labor was other people make millions of dollars, but what it comes down to is a skill. It's a skill level. I needed to go get a skill. And, as I kept getting more and more trained and educated, I got a better paying job, and get with more money comes what? More taxes. I'm looking at my paycheck. I'm like, wow, I'm literally paying, when I was working at a grocery store at 18, I'm paying in taxes almost double that check when I was a sacker for Kroger's. I'm like, well, I need to look at this at the other side. Less taxes. Let's go with it. And like you, Kim, my parents were both registered Democrats, but both my parents they had a lot of conservative values, though. It's
Right.
just the way they've been taught to vote all their life. I don't understand it, but and back then they didn't have the internet and stuff to easy to look it up and debunk it. You really had to go to a library and actually do the research yourself. And like I tell my dad all the time, hey, we've been duped all these years. But that's another story for another battle for another day. I'm not gonna get into that, but
my parents did change parties sometime before Obama, during Bush. But yeah, they saw the light finally.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just like me. I can't even talk. Like today, they were at my diocese clinic. They were talking about, did you go raise your hand if you voted, and really, come to me. Who'd you vote for? Something none of your damn business. But I'm really about the only conservative in the whole doggone clinic.
Mm-hmm.
The doggone shame. But what's that saying? You ever put the alone in a crowded room? That's the way I feel. It's the way I feel.
It does make you feel like you're the one that is out of place, or the one that is being discriminated against.
Mm-hmm. I'm tired. Oh, sorry, Kim. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's not right. But I have felt that way. I felt like I needed to keep my views quiet because they weren't the same as everybody else's.
Yep. I told you, I got called the coon a couple of months ago. It wasn't even a political thing I said. I was saying you need to listen to what the evidence before you go cast judgment. And all I said was, with that lady in Kentucky, Breonna Taylor, the evidence was coming out that she was part of the drug gang. And I got called all kind of names. I'm like, it took a lot of restraint from not because that lady out. And I said, you just ignorant, you just an idiot. How you gonna cast judgment on somebody before you know the evidence or the facts? Mm-hmm. Don't listen to what the media tells you. And you ought to be for black people no matter what. I'm like, no, I'm for the truth. I don't care what race you are. Don't care how tall, how big, I don't care. The truth is the truth, and facts are facts. That's why we have so much division now in this country, because of lies. And again, that's the first time I got called a coon or Uncle Tom as an adult. I got called one as a kid now in high school, but like I said, I always knew I was different from everybody else in high school. I knew I was different. I just didn't know what it was until I got older.
Oh, Kim, have you already voted?
Yes.
So did you go early vote or did you vote absentee?
Absentee.
Okay, because it just occurred to me this morning that I think I'd better call the elections office and find out for sure where I go vote on election day, because I've never went and voted here yet in Arizona. And someone told me that there's voting polls all over the place. You can go to any one you want, but I want to make sure that's correct.
As far as I know, it is. My parents dropped off our ballots and we were able to track them, and we've already gotten text messages that say that our signatures have been confirmed and our ballots have been counted.
Yeah. Well, I want to go to the voting booth on election day, and I want to use one of those accessible voting booths.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I'm going to call the elections office today and just find out the address of a polling location near me where there will hopefully be an accessible voting booth that day. Because I don't want to spend all day trying to find an accessible polling booth and then not have time to vote.
Oh, I voted Saturday. I went over to the library where they had an accessible voting booth, and it was quite easy. You feed your ballot through the thing in the front of the booth, and then it talks to you. You take your own headphones and your hand sanitizer and your mask, sure, all that, and then you look at all your choices on the ballot, and you can take
And so does it read the ballot to you, Larry?
Yes, it did.
So when you plug that book in, does it tell you how to use the machine, or does the person?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
At least the ones that I did, had, and all the buttons are clearly marked and shaped so that you can figure them out. At least, here in Florida is. I don't know about Arizona, but here in Florida, they were clearly marked, and you have to be a moron to not understand how not to do it.
I've heard that they're clearly marked here as well, Becca, and that the hand sanitizer for your earbuds is a good idea. Because you don't know.
I
always take my.
I was glad I took my own headphones with me, but I hadn't thought about the hand sanitizer. Thanks for letting me know about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they gave me a finger condom when I voted 2 weeks ago. They go on my finger that goes into that little scrolling wheel. I'm like, this is neat.
And they have masks here, Becca. I've heard that if you do not have a mask, they will give you a mask when you show up.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely call and make sure that they have an accessible voting booth at a polling place that you plan on going to.
All right. That's what I better do then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was really easy. Got my access code. They told me the code number. Went and punched the code in, and off I went. I'm glad here in Texas they stopped the straight party ticket. I'm glad they stopped that. You have to go through each and every selection. I'm glad they did that. Mm-hmm. Because some people just vote straight and it'd be out within 2 minutes. I'm like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
Yep. Doggone.
I didn't know there were so many third party and other party candidates running for president until I looked at the ballot last week, and oh wow.
A guy named Kanye West.
Well, I know in the past I've looked at the constitutional candidate and thought about voting for him or her. You know what I mean? If I wasn't voting Republican, I'd definitely look at the Constitution candidate.
Well, in Arizona, the only other candidate that made it on the ticket is the Libertarian candidate, Joe Jorgensen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was there on our, but there were a couple others that I can't remember because they just barely, got a squeak, but they're there.
Well, and I can tell you a little bit about Joe Jorgensen. It's a she, actually, and she's a business owner. She is very much she's very conservative, and she believes in the rights of all people, kind of like a Rand Paul kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar.
A lot of libertarians are conservative, actually.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of irony for the name is that because a lot of them actually are conservative.
Or the Green Party, which is nothing but a leftist, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So does anybody plan on dressing up for Halloween this year?
Nope.
Probably not. I wore makeup today, Becca.
Is it Halloween makeup or is it
No.
beautiful women makeup?
I have not worn makeup in a long time, so I put makeup on for today.
Well, good for you, Kim.
I was invited to a Halloween party with a bunch of other visually impaired people. They're going to do a costume contest, and I'm like, I think I'll skip it for the second year in a row.
Aw.
I'm just not really, I don't know, just not really in a, I don't know. There's too much crap going on for me to think about celebrating like that.
I haven't been going to any of these virtual things with the NFB, really, because if I'm going to be around that many people that I barely know, I want to be around them in person,
Yeah, I get a feel for them. You can't really get a feel for them when you're 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
We're actually having our monthly NFB meeting at our local chapter Saturday, and I made a joke when our president last month said, "Oh, we're going to have our meeting on Halloween." I said, "That's a scary thought."
That's funny. That's funny.
And Becca, you were talking about earlier when you were saying we started the show about people coming to a home invasion doing Halloween.
Yeah.
That's always a scary thought. Heck, even when an Amazon person comes to deliver my stuff, I really don't know who it is. Always, like I said, keep a baseball bat by the door or something, or some kind of way to protect you. Or just like, hey, leave it on the door.
Have you guys heard of this thing called Ring, R-I-N-G?
I have one.
Yep.
Did you say you have one?
Yes.
So my neighbor has one, and I think I'm going to get one because she's in a wheelchair, and like she zips up and down our cul-de-sac. But my sister told me that she had one of these Ring doorbells, so I had asked her about it. It sounds really good, and I'm going to get one for myself because I hate opening my door to people.
Well, we don't use the video too much, but because obviously it's not that important to us.
But don't you get with it as well? I mean, can't you talk to them over it as well?
Yes. Yeah. What's nice is it tells you somebody's at the door every time somebody's at the door.
Mm-hmm. Is it motion activated, or do they have to push the button to turn it on?
It's motion activated. So you know if somebody has delivered something and not rung your doorbell, or has been up to your door and not rung your doorbell. It makes a different ringing noise if they ring your doorbell. We could be not home and we would know that somebody is at our front door ringing our doorbell, and we could still talk to them.
Mm-hmm. So is there a speaker on the front, like right under the doorbell that the voice?
Yeah, it's built into it.
Okay.
And you just use your phone to talk into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were you able to install it yourself, Kim, or did you have to have a technician install it?
I installed it myself. I would say your sister or somebody could do it, or you could do it, or it's a matter of, you have to take it down every month or two to recharge it, which is kind of a pain.
And
but that's okay.
Does it bill you, does it bill your credit card each month, and how much does it cost?
Well, we don't subscribe to the video, so we don't do that. We just paid for the ring itself the one time. Okay. But there is a service for the extra security of having them record videos.
So if you don't have video, what is the ring without the video? Is it just audio then?
It would just be the audio to let you know somebody's at the door, and you can still use the camera feature to see who it is if you're somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, we don't have a ring. Ours is actually an alarm system that's similar to Ring. It's called Vivint Smart Home. Same thing, same concept. You know, I can talk through my phone if I don't trust who's at the door or something. But sometimes I'm just an idiot and I just go over and answer the door.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. So I can never fully get used to that yet. But you know, like I said, when the city of Houston comes by to check our sewer property line, I ask for an ID number, stay right there, and I go call the city. You know, or if my dad is there, he can verify all that on for me. But you know, like I say, I always have protection when I go answer the door, no matter what. So I do know someone answers my door after 8:00 at night. There's a problem.
Oh, I got a security door. So we just always try to keep the security door locked. So no matter who it is, when we open our front door, they still can't get to us unless they shoot us through the security door. That's about all they can do. It's like it's a steel security door. Yeah. I got it just before the quarantine, actually.
We got something like a storm door, so nobody can't just kick in it. Mm-hmm. And you know, like I say, as visually impaired individuals, you got to take care of yourself first, you know, and no one's gonna do that better than you. You know, again, I had to keep bringing up the protection, but I got to. I sound like a broken record almost every video, but I encourage any blind individual to protect yourself somehow. Please do it. Please. I don't want to see none of y'all on the news getting hurt real bad. I've seen it happen here in Houston a couple of times. You know, like I said, crime is on the rise everywhere. Mm-hmm.
So has anybody heard about any new tools for the visually impaired or anything cool going on in the visually impaired world they'd like to share?
Not lately.
I'm volunteering for V-Rate in a couple weeks.
Oh, are they going to do that virtual?
Yes. It'll be the first time. It's the 24th year, Becca.
And
they're doing it virtually this year.
Can you let me know how I can look at it virtually? You know what I mean?
It's going to be all online. Okay. So if you go to vrate2020.com, I think, or just look up vrate 2020. It has everything on there. You just need to register, and it'll send you an email to let you know. It's the Friday the 13th of November.
Okay.
Wow.
But there will be an exhibit hall, and they're doing Friday the 13th, and they're doing seminars all day, just which will just be back to back. So what
are the dates of V-Rate? Do you know?
What is the acronym stand for?
No, do they do that in May? I'm trying to remember when they do V-Rate.
It's once a year. It's always in November.
Oh, is it in November? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, we had our White Cane Day 2 weeks ago, but it was on a Zoom call.
What did you guys do during the Zoom call to commemorate White Cane Day?
We didn't. They just had a couple of guest speakers. That was it.
Oh, speaking about cane? Were they speaking about their experiences using canes and stuff, or experiences blind people?
Mm-hmm. You know, daily life with using the, how to tell people about your cane, and it's not a stick. We got to keep it. We got to keep telling people it's not a stick. It's not a blind stick. It's a cane. For some people, for some reason, a lot of people want to call it a stick. It doesn't look like a stick, but
yeah.
I don't know why they always want to call it a stick. But
a lot of people are raised thinking it's a stick.
So guys, listen, I know that can be quite a conundrum. Is it a cane or is it a stick? But what you call something is really quite irrelevant.
Yeah.
And if you can get past it, it really helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like I know, I actually just, most sighted people, I just argue with them. If they call it a cane, I call it a stick. If they call it a stick, I call it a cane. You know what I mean? That's just to be a pill. But honestly, it's like the whole blind thing. Like, you have to be able to say that you're blind in order to survive it, right? Well, you have to be able to you have to feel comfortable in your own skin and not be concerned about what labels you're using, right?
Right.
Well, it's not that. It's just, to me, it's a respect thing of take time to learn what it is, because I wouldn't call somebody in a wheelchair, that thing with wheels on it, or the chair with wheels. It's a wheelchair. That's somebody's legs. Just like our cane is basically our eyesight.
So, guys, you know how as blind people we talk about watching TV and reading books and looking out the window and stuff? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do you think people in wheelchairs talk about walking to their friend's house, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So I had a pretty good friend in a wheelchair. My friend Eric in Montana. We were friends for a long time. I actually met him before I ever met my husband. And Eric and I were really good friends, and we went out and hung out a lot. But, it never did come up in our conversation whether or not he wanted to say we were walking over to the bowling alley to get cheese fries. But he was fun about it.
Well, my brother, my older brother's in the wheelchair. Uh-huh. And look what he calls me. Look what I call him. I call him Will, man. He calls me, what does he call me? Oh, yeah, sightless. I call him the Will Man.
Uh-huh. You have nicknames for each other. You're teasing each other. Yeah. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. I never, and again, he lost his his ability to walk years before I lost my eyesight. And, we had a connection now. We both, I really don't call it disabled, but, but we had that connection like that. He understands it. Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that we all have in common, all of us who have different disabilities, is we all understand that our disability is not what defines us. And so, I really feel like even though my fellow disabled people who are in wheelchairs or who have other disabilities, whether, there's so many different disabilities you can have. Mm-hmm. I just feel like at some level we can all connect, you know what I mean? Because all of us have been there, and felt that lack of access, you know what I mean?
It's almost it's a void.
Yeah, in a way that people who've never been disabled can't understand. When you're disabled, no matter what your disability is, you understand what it's like to have to fight for access and fight for equal rights.
Exactly.
And people look at you and judge your abilities because they see a wheelchair, or because they see a cane, or because they see whatever tools you use to make your life a successful one,
Mm-hmm. I'm fighting the fight every day at school.
What'd you say, Leon?
I fight that fight every day at school.
Mm-hmm. It's a fight that you never stop fighting.
Yeah.
Why is the first question that people ask is if you're blind? is why don't you have a dog?
Yep.
Oh my God!
Why
Right.
is
Say,
that
how many fingers am I holding
always
up?
the first question people ask?
People always used to say, how many fingers am I holding up?
Yes.
I don't have a dog. I'm not a guide dog person. There are guide dog people and there are cane people. I found out when I had a guide dog for 6 months, I am not a guide dog person and never will be.
I was shopping in the grocery store one time, and a lady came up to me and she said, "Oh, I know where you can get a guide dog. You need a guide dog."
Did you get her name and number?
No,
So you can go get a guide dog?
no.
Well, funny story about that too came about me about the guide dog. When I went and adopted my dog from the county pound, the lady there thought, oh, you're here to get a guide dog, huh? I'm like, no, that's not how you choose a guide dog. I just want a little household dog, to keep me company every now and again. Speaking of that, is my dog.
I mean, I have nothing against guide dogs. I have nothing against people that use them.
Absolutely.
It's just not for me.
Larry, do you have anything against pet dogs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does everybody on the panel at least have a pet dog?
No, not anymore.
No. Well, I live in an apartment. Cats are better apartment pets than dogs.
Oh, do you have cats, Larry?
I did. I don't have one at the moment, but we did a couple of years ago.
Leon, do you have dogs? Leon?
Yeah, I like dogs.
Is Leon still on?
I mean,
No.
Leon?
I've got a dog.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Is Leon still on too?
I mean, the best dog I ever had was a Doberman that I raised from a puppy. It was my buddy.
How are you, Tim?
The most loyal dog
Doing
I ever
all right.
had.
I had an
Got me in my car.
emergency phone call, so I couldn't get on earlier. So sorry about that.
Oh, no
Was
sweat.
it from the president, Tim?
Oh yeah, no, it's from the Democrats. They're going to come after and get me in about 2 weeks. They already done said that. So
Oh.
Are they?
No, let's have faith.
Are they going to come get you because you're a gun owner or what, Tim?
well, they're going to get me because all the stuff I've been saying about them here lately. They're going to put me in the encampment.
Oh,
little,
they're reprogramming.
So you'll be putting a bullet
reprogramming?
through your head any day now, right?
Well, I'd rather do that than go on with the Democrats. So we'll see what happens.
Voluntary.
Yeah. So what's everybody's prediction?
Oh,
Well, we
Trump's
hadn't really
a
got
landslide.
I think it'll come down to the Supreme Court on the mail-in ballots because people will want to count them 5 months after being sent in. So I believe it'll be shut down, and Donald Trump will barely win due to the fact of the Supreme Court.
But I think, honestly, President Trump will get the majority of the valid votes.
He will have the votes, but the Democrats will be suing, and it'll come down. And everybody say the Supreme Court is the reason why. No, I think he'll win Pennsylvania. He's going to win Michigan. He's going to win Wisconsin. He's going to win Arizona, and right there puts him in as the president. So it's going to be a squeaker, though. It's going to be a squeaker. We won't know who's president until about December 15th.
That's your prediction, December 15th?
That's my prediction.
Yep.
Why December 15th?
It's a good date.
And me, my little furry
At least
friend.
we'll know before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have Donald Trump to save the country for the next
Just
4 years at
imagine
least.
all of the fighting that we're going to be seeing on the news so after the election before they finally settle it, dude.
Oh, shopping for Christmas presents is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
One word, Amazon.
Oh, sorry, Zoe, sit down. Sorry.
Amazon, Target, Walmart. Yeah.
When you guys shop at Amazon, do you look to see where the products are coming from?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about being made from where
Yes.
they're being made from?
Oh, that.
Correct.
I try to buy American all I can.
Why, Kim?
Because
I believe-
Amazon has a lot of foreign country products.
Yeah.
And by supporting Amazon, we are getting a lot of Chinese merchandise. And we are getting a lot of Indian merchandise. And we are getting a lot of Mexican merchandise. And it just depends on how much American stuff you want to support. There's not a lot of USA made brands on Amazon.
Okay.
So where does
If you really
person
look at
go to find USA name brands?
you have to look through the whole description.
So
To buy American stuff, you probably need to go out and go shopping physically to do that.
No.
No.
But even the stuff with so-called American names is foreign made.
Yeah, you have to be really, really careful because some of their parts and pieces come from other countries.
Yep, just ask me about my car.
We have a backlog in as far as manufacturing for appliances right now in America because we can't get parts and pieces.
Because we're not doing business with China.
Not necessarily.
It's Mexico.
China. It's
Mexico's the biggest one now.
It's Mexico right now. And so if you get your hands on an appliance that is made by Panasonic or something that you have never heard of making a refrigerator, then buy it and you need a refrigerator, then you should buy it because you're not going to be able to find a Whirlpool or a GE for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Not until next year.
Just like with the ammunition, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Where's my dog? Where did she go?
What's your dog's name, Leon?
Zoe.
Oh.
She's a little rat terrier.
Rat terrierist.
My German Shepherd Precious was sitting beside me here when we first got on camera, so I was petting her.
Well, my dog's passed out on the couch, so. So was everybody excited about Amy Coney Barrett last night getting sworn in?
You missed that discussion, Tim.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can talk about it now. Yes, Tim, how did you feel about it?
I was very excited about it, but hopefully that the Republicans can still keep the Senate, because if we don't, we will pay for that nomination and that judge getting put in.
Yep.
So
I
believe the majority of the American people wanted her to be.
we have it's 52% as of yesterday, but still, Chuck Schumer said that they're going to stack the court, they're going to stack the Senate, they're going to do a lot of stuff, and we're going to have, if they get control of the Senate, America is gone forever. That's all I'm saying, because they're going to do so many things. We're going to be a one-party rule just like they are in California, and the Republicans will never have a say in anything anymore.
Yep.
And when you have one-party rule, that is tyranny, and that is dictatorship. I wouldn't vote for a Democrat if I was a Democrat right now, because they are no longer the Democratic Party of 15, 20 years ago. They are the Communist Party now.
The Communist Party of America. The CCA. Wait a minute. I said that wrong. CPA. Yeah, CPA.
And so Democrats are I don't even think that John F. Kennedy would be a Democrat if he would see what the Democrats are like today. He would be a Republican.
No. He was too conservative.
No, he was a conservative. He cut taxes, and he was a Catholic. And I remember back when, well, I don't remember, but I remember the stories of how the Democrats didn't like him because he was Catholic, just like they did for Amy Coney last night.
Yeah.
That wasn't so much a Democrat that didn't like him because he was Catholic. Generally, people didn't like him because he was Catholic. Because
how did he win
rarity? It was a rarity for a Catholic to be a president. Presidents up until that time were these Baptist, Methodist, conservative.
Well, the problem was he was a practicing Catholic. I don't know if these people said that I'm a Christian, but they don't practice it. They don't go to church or whatever. So he was a practicing Catholic at the time, even though he ended up screwing himself over with Marilyn Monroe. But
yeah.
So what do you guys think about that? That's kind of an interesting topic. Politicians and affairs.
Oh, wow. What about Lewinsky?
It happens on both sides.
It happens on both sides.
Happens on both sides, and it happens all the time.
Yes.
I don't think George W. Bush had one, but
no, I don't think he did.
No.
Obama probably didn't have one.
No.
Now everybody knows that Bill Clinton did. Ronald Reagan didn't. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter didn't. I would say it's probably become fewer than far between lately. But back in the old days, they did. I know that Nixon did. I know that who else had one? Well, of course, Kennedy did.
Do you think it's a political power that they believe they have the right to do that? Or do you think it's disconnection?
They take advantage of their position.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I think they're just human beings like the rest of us who screw around on their spouses sometimes. And if they happen to be in political office and they get caught, it's like everybody knows it's a big smear thing, you know?
Well, it's like that candidate in North Carolina right now. He was leading in the polls, and he ended up having an affair and got caught. He's going to lose now to the Tillis. Tillis pulled ahead. He's ahead by 5 points now in North Carolina.
He a Democrat or a Republican?
The Democrat had an affair with the lady just this year, and the lady he was cheating with is married to another military guy who got injured in Iraq and is very seriously injured. And so now there's a possibility he could be court-martialed by the U.S. military because he's still
active
duty. So there's a possibility he's in trouble.
Oh, my God.
So these affairs destroy your career, which it should.
Did anybody see listen to the tweets after ACB got confirmed? These people are sick. You know, these leftists, they're some sick puppies, man.
I didn't see the tweets, Leon. What did they say?
It's just like, we got we want to say, we got a religious nut job in the Supreme Court now. A few of them have made videos, like just screaming and crying. Come on, we got to pack the courts now. I'm like, wow, really? So you're admitting what you want to do. Like I said, the gloves are off now. We know what's coming to get. Huh?
I'm getting really tired of the Democrats always cheating to try to get their way. You know what I mean?
Well, they can't do it legislative, so they've got to do it judicial way. And that's why the Supreme Court's so important to them.
Well, look what happened years ago when in 2013 when the Democrats changed the rules to the Supreme Court nomination. And Republicans told them years down the road, it's going to bite you in the behind. And I'll be damned.
It did.
And now they want to change it again now.
Because it's biting them in behind.
Well, if they change it, which they will, it will never be able to fix it. The Republicans will never get the power ever again to fix it. That's how important this election is. If you got a Republican senator out there You've got to vote for your Republican senator, or we will lose this country because the Democrats will get the power, just like in California, and we will never get it back again. There will be no possible way other than a revolution with guns and a civil war.
Poor California. I wonder if we can just sell California to one of these countries.
I wish California would secede and just go ahead and go off on its own little merry way.
You guys, California's been talking about that for decades.
Yeah, let's just let them go.
I would let them go.
Mm-hmm.
California.
Texas has been talking about
Do you think Cuba might want California?
China will.
China would love to have California, but California, it's just like I said, they have their energy policies are so bad. Like yesterday or today, they're having blackouts and brownouts again because it's too hot because they don't have enough power to generate to keep up the air conditioners. So they shut everybody's air conditioner off. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen to America on a 97-degree heat day? Is it going to be great to turn off your air conditioner? You can't run it for 4 or 5 hours. That shit will be all over America if we don't stop them next Tuesday.
Yep.
Here in Arizona, it gets up to 120 plus in the summer.
Well, you're going to have blackouts or brownouts because they're going to. You can't use natural gas, which is the least emission fossil fuel there is. They even want to eliminate that.
And most of us have natural gas furnaces in our attics or for our water heaters.
They'll refit you. They're going to tear down your house and rebuild your home.
That's what they're saying. And they're saying they're going to create jobs.
And stick you with the bill.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to be forced to do this because we are the communists of America now. And that's what's headed this way. And this is not made up bull crap. This is reality. You can hear them, and they're telling you what's going to happen now. They don't care. They tell you out front what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Joe Biden said the other night, he's going to get rid of the oil industry. He is going to get rid of the oil industry.
Right. And all of the oil refinery workers are going to be out of work. All of the electrical workers are going to be out of work. Everybody's going to be out of work.
Well, not even that. So the oil company doesn't have. So people who go on that shift go to a place to get something to eat. Those places will have less business. So somebody at that restaurant's not going to have a job anymore. And all that does is keep on trickling down. And then nobody's going to be working.
Well, it's the same thing with taxes. You raise taxes for one group of people, it trickles down.
See, you're right, because they keep on talking about corporate taxes. We're going to raise corporate taxes. You know, corporations don't pay a tax. The consumer does, because they figure that into their expenses, and we pay for it when we buy their goods. So that's going to make everything we buy more expensive. Corporations do not pay taxes. We pay their taxes.
That's exactly what happened when Obama raised taxes. That's exactly what will happen when Biden raised taxes.
And the jobs went overseas because of that too.
So don't get sucked in that. We're going to raise taxes on the wealthy. The wealthy is the middle class because we pay for everything. We buy their goods. We pay their taxes for them.
The middle class is coming back under Trump. Under Obama, there was no middle class.
No, they hate the middle class.
Hey, look what California did a few weeks ago about the gas emitting vehicles. That's gone by 2035.
And who's going to have $100,000 to buy an electrical car?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to affect more middle class and poor people than it will anybody.
Yep.
So,
but then again, look how much look how many resources it takes to build one electric vehicle. You know, that battery itself is building one of those batteries. It pollutes the air more than a gasoline vehicle does.
And what happens to the battery when it's no good anymore? What are you going to do with the battery?
Yep, you gotta. Well, like it does with
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones.
It's just like these CFL bulbs they're telling everybody to buy. Okay.
No.
If one breaks, you need to call hazmat to come to your house.
Because there's mercury in them.
So you're throwing all this shit in the landfill, and one day we're going to be affected by all this mercury. So why should incandescent bulb is the best bulb to have, not the freaking one with the mercury that's built into it. That is how stupid the government is. They're going to make you put a bulb in that's got mercury in it.
Yep. Well,
I mean, it says there right on the label, if drop. When you're throwing away, you got to put it in a bag. Oh, my gosh, that stuff is pretty rough shit.
Well, hell, look at California. They got rid of plastic too, didn't they?
Yeah, you can't have plastic bags no more and straws.
I can't stand these paper straws.
Oh, I know.
You start drinking out of it. It becomes a good spitball.
A paper straw with a paper wrapper around it when you're blind. And it's, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous trying to do that.
You just do not want to become the next California. California is falling apart at the seams.
What do you know about it, Tim?
I know their deficits, and they keep adding on to the deficits. I think they're, $80 billion in net deficit?
Wow.
They want to keep on giving free health care to the illegal aliens in this country. They raise their taxes all the time. They've got the highest gas in the country. You can't buy you have to buy an electric car in 10 years or 15 years, whatever it is. You can't get a Lyft ride anymore or an Uber ride anymore because of unions. There's all kinds of crap that goes on in California. In San Francisco, I don't have to pick up my dog shit. I have to pick up my dog shit, but humans can shit anywhere in San Francisco, anywhere.
And
even inside of a grocery store, somebody can squat right there and take a dump, and nothing happens to them. In San Francisco, they've got a pooping crew that goes up picking up human feces off the streets.
Yeah, I heard that.
So California is not a good role model. California can fall off the face of the earth, and I could care less because it would take Hollywood with it.
Think about our blind brethren who live in California, though, you guys. Like several months ago, I called my friend Eric, who lives over there because he's blind. And he said, everything's fine and hunky-dory, but I should probably try him again now because, yeah, they've lost like their Uber and Lyft, which we all know is the primary source of transportation for us visually impaired people.
It affects the blind people big time in California because you can't work for them. I can't remember what the law is, but if you don't get 40...
Yeah, you're right, Tim. It has to be a full-time job. It can't just
full-time
be
job.
And they have to have benefits and insurance.
They have to have benefits and all that crap. You're right, Leon. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. So now Lyft and Uber are no longer out there. And so now the disabled are back to taking taxi cabs again that cost 5 times the amount to go anywhere.
Are there even any taxi cabs anymore, though? Because a lot of taxi cabs companies were driven out of business when Uber and Lyft came about. So maybe there's not even that option for people anymore. Maybe there's nothing.
I don't know. We'd have to ask somebody who lives in California.
Yeah.
Like my cousin, he's God bless him, but he's an idiot. He has a laundromat business now. When he came here last year, he was talking about how Trump is the grand wizard of the KKK. I'm like,
oh my God,
you're an idiot. I'm like, look how much you pay in taxes and look how much we pay. I'm like, dude, you look how much it costs for him to register his 2 vehicles, $1,500. It's only $80 here, and it gets cheaper as you get older. I'm like, dude, that's a down payment for a car, and he has to pay that a year just to register his 2 vehicles. Not to mention his property taxes he has to pay an arm and a leg for. But you want to talk about Texas and all and Trump? You're an idiot.
I went to California one time, and I asked a security guard, how many jobs? He says, I work 48 hours a week. I have to work 2 jobs to keep myself able to stay here. And I said, why do you stay here? Because it's so expensive to live there, and the taxes are outrageous.
Near Silicon Valley, we know where Google and stuff is at. I see all these documentaries all the time on YouTube about, You got guys making $100,000 a year, and they got to share. They got to split the rent. $100,000 there is like making $20,000 here in Texas. But like you say, Tim, why stay? Why stay?
Well, I went to a McDonald's in up near LAX. It was a 3-story McDonald's. And I said, why do you all have 3 stores? Because they don't build out, they build up. Because you don't have to pay taxes on anything. It's 2-story, 3-story. Because the property is so small, they only pay taxes on that small property. So they build up. So you got a 3-story McDonald's.
Wow.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yep.
So I wonder if there's a slide that you can go, if you go up to the third.
Oh, that would be fun. Rachel, you want to go down the slide?
Down to the bottom.
We can go down about a fireman pole. That'd be even better.
Yeah.
Get you a good-looking woman over there by that pole. I'll shut up. That's not good.
Tim, we should design a treehouse, dude.
Oh, yeah, a good treehouse.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah, Becca, you said you want to see my target from the other day?
Oh, yeah. So, Leon, tell our viewers the story about your target, too. Like,
I have my latest AR-15. I needed to put a sight on it. Yeah, go figure. I'm blind with a sight on the gun. Yeah, I know. And the guy was like, you know what? I'll do something for you better. I'll order you a laser. I'm like, cool. Ordered it. It came last Wednesday. I put it on there. I went there and put it on there Friday. He said, you want to shoot it? I'm like, hell yeah. So went there and shot. And this is my result. Let me back up a little bit. I don't know if it's upside down or not.
So, but that's the target, huh? How many times did you hit the target?
It's a Democrat symbol.
Yep. I hit the bullseye a couple of times, as you can see.
Yeah, you did a good job there, Leon. Don't want to mess with you, man.
Yep. I got my cowboy hat on right. I got my cowboy hat too, so you can't be a Texas without a cowboy hat.
Get you a horse and you're halfway there.
Yep. Hey, you want to know something funny though? Every day in my neighborhood, you'll see people riding horses up and down the street. You can do that here in Houston. They won't. The cops won't say nothing to you. All the travel that we have almost every month through the neighborhood. It's funny. It's real fun. Especially during the rodeo days here. Especially I go Western Day. Oh, it's a time to dress up in your best cowboy outfit and head on down to the rodeo. Get some good Texas smoked barbecue and yeah.
Some brisket.
I love rodeos, man.
I bet you do, Rebecca.
Except for
well, they're so great because there's so much to listen to and smell and do, even when you're blind. You know what I mean? If you have your cane, you can go anywhere and do anything while you're there.
Yeah, especially the live country music concerts we have here too during that time. I never thought I would like country music until I went a few years ago. Listen to Mr. Garth books. I'm like, I'll be damned. I never thought I would like this crap. Now I'm a fan.
Look all you've been missing, Leon.
Yeah. Now I gotta get a real Stetson hat now.
Now if we can just get you to chew some tobacco.
Hey, do any of you guys have tobacco dots?
Who?
Yes.
So I was gonna do the show from my bedroom today. And in my bedroom, I've got a sound bar up on I have like a higher wall up there, and on the ledge I have this sound bar, and I have Alexa built into it, and so I get to listen to my music right out of that thing, and it like permeates the sound throughout my bedroom, right? Instead of it sounding like it's just coming from one spot in my room, one speaker, it's like everywhere.
Yeah, surround sound.
My Pandora this morning while I was exercising, and it was great.
So do you go in there and turn on some Barry White? Let's get it on. And
I listened to Barry White on there before. I like Jazz Masters. I love country. I listen to a lot of country. I love pop.
Well, I listen to my soundbar when I want to listen to my podcasts. That's what I do while I'm cooking and stuff.
You can also like tune into Fox News radio over like your Alexa.
Yep, you can. You can.
I do that every morning. You know, I actually shut my cable off recently because I was paying an arm and a leg for it, and my boyfriend was watching it 24 hours a day. But I got sick of it. I can watch Fox News on my iPad, so that's what I did. I canceled my expensive cable package, and I just watch Fox News on my iPad now through my YouTube TV app.
There you go.
We use Spectrum streaming Spectrum through because we have a TV, but we don't use it. If we would do West TV, it's either on our phone or on our iPad.
Do any of you guys have Apple TVs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kim, would you come over and help me set my Apple TV up?
I can. Yeah.
You know, I have an Apple
I've had it for so many
TV,
years,
but
I've never really used it.
the Spectrum TV app on the Apple TV actually don't work well together. So
I've got illegal stream coming through my house.
What's that, Tim?
That's everything's illegal.
How did it get in your house, though?
I pay $5 a month for 5,322 channels.
Really? Cool.
Yep.
Who needs that many channels?
I don't know, but I've got them. If you want to watch them.
Mm.
Hope the government's not watching that I just said that.
You know,
They're watching all of us.
I really am happy about my choice to cancel my expensive cable package and just start watching my own stuff on my little iPad through my YouTube TV app and through some of my other apps on my iPad. Because my life was a nightmare when I had my cable turned on. Because you guys, literally, my boyfriend had the TV going 24/7 during the quarantine. Oh my gosh.
we had YouTube TV for a while, and it certainly worked better than Sling, but it got to be too expensive per person.
Hulu's a good one. You can get Hulu TV for $54 a month, so that's a good one if you want to pay for it.
Mm.
So it's just whatever you want to do.
So, do you guys watch much descriptive shows, or are you guys okay with
Everything?
non-descriptive as well?
I don't have to watch descriptive yet.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, we're gonna take that battery though.
Okay.
Okay. Quickly, I'm talking to somebody on camera.
Sorry about that. Had a little accident where my arm started bleeding. I got the hell out of here.
Oh, what happened, Leon?
My retarded behind took advantage of too quick.
Make sure you're
Ooh.
good now.
I got it. Yeah. The one thing it's good now. It's out.
Is anybody going to be carving a jack-o'-lantern this year?
No.
No.
I should go on and Becca's World and look at the video, man. It was awesome.
Do you roast the
That is the
pumpkin
messiest
seeds?
operation in the world, carving a jack-o'-lantern.
What did you say, Kim?
Do you roast the pumpkin seeds?
No.
Oh,
Put a little salt on them. Oh, my Lord.
Do y'all make candy apples? I think I might do that Saturday.
Well, I'm on the keto diet, so I don't get to eat stuff anymore like that. So
I hadn't had a candy apple in 20 years.
Have you been losing weight on the keto diet, Kim?
I've lost 10 pounds in 7 days.
Has it been worth it, or has it been a really difficult?
It's been easy because I could eat vegetables and cheese, some cheese and meat, of course, and some certain fruits and a salad. So it's not been. Tonight I'm having making mac and cheese out of cauliflower, which is awesome, and hamburger patties for tonight. Tomorrow night I'm having salmon and roasted Brussels sprouts. So it's been pretty easy diet.
Oh, cool. So you would recommend it to our viewers?
I would recommend it. You just can't drink alcohol while you're on it. That's the only thing you can't do. And well, candy and all that. You can't have fruit. Certain fruits you can't have. Just need to check out the keto diet go to their website or find somebody on YouTube and just follow it. And it's pretty easy to keep.
How do you spell keto?
Keto.
Thank you.
So I've lost 10 pounds in 7 days, and I've got several pounds to go.
What's your goal, Tim? How much do you hope to lose?
I want to lose 20% of my weight.
Okay. Good for you.
I just don't want to I don't want to become a diabetic. So that's what I'm doing it for.
When I started to lose weight, I wanted to lose half of my body mass. That's how far overweight I was. So.
Well, I want to lose 50 pounds.
Good for you.
So I'm on my way. And like I said, I don't want to become a diabetic or on high blood pressure medication. And this is the way to do it.
Yeah. And, every little bit helps. And the more things you do to help your health, it builds up, and it becomes a ball, and it's rolling down a hill. And the more things you do, the better your health becomes. That's what's been my experience.
Yep.
Whether it's dieting, exercise, or drinking more water, or watching what you eat.
Yeah, you need to drink a lot of water if you're on a diet. Don't drink diet sodas. Diet sodas is one of the worst things for you to drink, period.
Yeah.
It's better for you to drink a regular soda than it is a diet soda, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So don't drink any diet anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got that aspartame in it, which causes cancer.
I could never understand that line of thinking. You go out, you get the hamburger, the fries, and then you get a diet soda. What's
Soda, yeah.
I had
There's more calories in that burger than there is in that. I think it's 160 calories in a 16-ounce Coca-Cola. There's more calories in that Big Mac you're eating than there is in that drink.
I had a childhood friend who drank Diet Coke our whole lives.
Oh.
And she always struggled with her weight. She just died last October. But, yeah, her whole life she struggled with her weight. And she was always drinking Diet Coke, though. The diet didn't help her, the Diet Pop, No,
actually, there's been studies showing that the more diet drinks you drink, the more weight you gain because your body adapts to it. And it changes it molecularly inside your body. And you will gain weight even though you're on a diet drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a hoax.
Yep. Just like eating that damn Impossible Whopper from Burger King. Don't eat it.
That Impossible Whopper's got more fat in it than a Whopper does.
Not even that is it. Uh-huh.
I was going to say, did you hear where Coca-Cola isn't making certain diet sodas anymore right now anyway?
Why?
Coca-Cola has cut out a lot of their soda brands.
Yeah, Coca-Cola got rid of Tab. I didn't know Tab was even around anymore. That was the first diet drink in America, Tab. That's how old I am. Good God.
And it was awful.
Yes, it was pretty bad stuff. The diet drink you should be drinking is nothing but water. Water.
Coke Zero is pretty good, though, don't you guys think?
No, any soft drink's not really good for you, period.
Oh, I know. But when we're comparing diet drink to diet drink, all I'm saying is I think that one's probably not as offensive in my experience.
If I'm going to drink something straight up, I just get me a cherry Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
I've been drinking a lot of ginger ale lately. I like ginger ale.
Ginger's good for you.
Ginger's good for your digestive system.
Oh, yeah, I should go.
Yeah. It actually works against acid reflux because Susie has these crystallized ginger slices that she eats every day. She almost rarely gets the acid reflux now.
Well, everybody, I got to go, so I'll see you all later. Hopefully next week we will have a president this time, but I doubt it. So I'll see you guys next week.
So, Tim, before you go, we'll just wrap up the show, but I just wanted to remind our viewers, be careful on Halloween and get out there and vote on Tuesday.
Vote Republican.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add before we wrap up the show?
We all need to pray for our country in the next 7 days.
Yes, don't forget to pray for our president.
We really need to get on our knees and thank God what we've got now, because in 2 weeks we may never have it again. So we really need to pray for God's help and guidance and guide us through this. And hopefully Donald Trump wins, because he's the last great hope we've got.
Mm. Yep. Does anybody else want to add anything? Okay. If not, I just want to let our viewers know you guys can email us at info@bluebutterflyenterprises.com. And if anybody would like to come on the show, just send us your contact information and we will contact you. And also let us know what you guys think about the show.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Oh yeah, happy Halloween, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace out, everybody. Please like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Peace out.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.